And once again, we welcome in Stephen A. Smith and Michael Wilbon to the show. And gentlemen, I'll begin with Chris Paul. I feel it's only appropriate. And Michael, how best to frame what it is that he provided this group? They had never been in the playoffs as constructed, and he obviously helps lead them. How do you frame what you saw from him in this evening?
Scott, I got to go back to the beginning of it when he first knew he was going to be traded, and it's know-how, it's poise, it's intellect, it's toughness, all of those things. There's so many more, but I think at least those few sort of represent all that Chris Paul is, and he really wanted to come here, meaning Phoenix, of course. And I probably shouldn't tell this story. I'm going to tell it quickly because it's an off-the-record story. If Chris gets mad at me later, I'll put some money in a little jar.
It's fine.
But, we're working on a project, a Chris Paul generated project. And so we're doing it on Zooms in the summer and in the early fall. And during one of the Zooms at the end, Chris says, "What are you going to do now? We're done." I go, "I don't know. I'll go out and hit some golf balls." He says, "Nah, I need a favor." I said, "What?" He goes, "Can you help me look for a house in Scottsdale?" I'm like, why would a guy who's already in L.A. with his family need a house in Scottsdale? And I said that, and he just pauses and he says, "Think, Mike, think." And I said, it took me a while, and I went, oh my God, this could happen. And what he talked about down there is the order that he talked about it. I mean, Booker, there were all those people involved, but Devin Booker was the big part. He, like the late, great Kobe Bryant, looked at Devin Booker very early on, and they each saw something that drew them. Mm-hmm. They loved everything about him. And so Chris wanted to play with Devin Booker, and he thought this could work. He thought it could work before anybody else thought it could work, other than maybe Devin. And so, but all of those things characterized the way Chris felt about coming to the Phoenix Suns at the beginning of the season.
You know, Mike Wilbon isn't the only one with an off-the-court story about Chris Paul. As you well know, Scott, Michael Wilbon, I executive produced a project, Why Not Us, with Chris Paul for ESPN Plus earlier this year. And a lot of times we found ourselves talking off the record about what he felt about Devin Booker. And let me tell you something about Chris Paul. He's not well-liked by a few people in the NBA because he's an acquired taste, Scott. He's a guy that gets in your face, in your mug. He's incredibly demanding. He pulls no punches. He holds you accountable. That ain't for everybody, but here's what you need to know about him. As much as he's not liked by some people, he's loved more by others and universally respected by everyone because of his leadership ability. And so when you see him with his teammates in Phoenix and you see the way that they have this level of adulation and affection for him, what that means is they've bought in. They recognized a long time ago that this guy that is an acquired taste, if we acquire that taste, we might just be champions one day. That's the kind of talk that they were having during this season when they were one of the top two teams in the Western Conference, and it came out tonight to reach fruition. This is about the leadership of Chris Paul. A game 6, a closeout game, fresh off of Paul George dropping 41. What does he do? Does he answer with 25 points and 15 assists? No, he drops 41.
Real answer.
With 8 assists in 35 minutes with 0 turnovers. I'm sorry. It is the most special performance of his career, and it happened on the same night that this man is going to the NBA Finals for the first time in his 16-year career.
I think his greatest performance, not his best performance.
Yes, his greatest.
But his greatest performance coming here, getting them to the finals, fulfilling all of this. And he stresses over it now. Don't be misled. I mean, he wants this badly. And so for him to make this happen here, and as Booker said, I asked Booker once, what is it like now that you got to be accountable to this guy? And he smiled, and Booker said, it ain't for everybody.
Right.
And to Stephen A's point, guys, I mean, he's a demanding dude.
And you guys both well know that whole disrespect or chip on the shoulder thing can be a played-out routine. But he's fueled by those who believe that his best time was behind him. And I think he demonstrated clearly tonight what he still possesses. And now they have at least 4 more games to prove that he could be a champion, a minted champion once and for all. As always, gentlemen, your time appreciated. We'll talk again when the finals arrive, all right?
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.